McDonald's got a ton of backlash, a ton of hate for the AI ad they did for two main reasons. The first reason being that people don't like that it was AI, and that's to be expected. To be expected. People get mad about AI stuff. I think it's just the state of the world that we're in. It doesn't mean that it's bad or wrong, in my opinion. It just means that it's new, it's different, and people are adapting, just as they've always adapted to change. But the second reason that they don't like it is because it was just kind of a negative ad. Christmas is often seen as one of the best times of the year, this jolly, happy season. And McDonald's built this whole ad around it, being like, hey, Christmas is the worst time of the year. It kind of just put, I mean, it like, how horrible of an idea was it to make a McDonald's ad using AI, which people are already get upset about, and then pick a negative topic too on top of that, and just put people in a bad mood already. They're starting to get their bad thoughts flowing, bad energy going, and they're just going to take it out on the fact that this was an AI ad, that a big company did it, that they could have hired other creators. They did hire creatives, by the way. I mean, creative people put in a lot of work to make this ad. All that aside, it kind of just didn't work out. But because it's trending, I figured it'd be fun to try and make a little photo shoot around it. So, jumping into the concept, we've got a fashion styled photo on a clean gradient background. By the way, I wrote all this myself. This is mine based on looking at all these inspiration images that I liked. So a fashion styled photo on a clean gradient background. I like that gradient. I think it'll work well with our backdrop. But I want it magazine covered style. Like, I want the text to feel like a magazine cover. I want these floating tabs, but I want them to have reviews on them. I want it to be all of the angry reviews about the McDonald's ad. And I don't really care for this, for this project. This isn't something massive. I'm just doing this for fun and for a tutorial and for social media. But I think this would be fun just to put some angry, scathing reviews on there. I'm going to do this in Flow because I think starting from scratch, Flow will give us a lot of options. I have my settings down here set to 9:16 because this is a social post. I have 4 outputs per prompt, and that's the real reason I'm doing this in Flow, is because I want multiple outputs. And then we're going to run Nano Banana Pro because eventually we're going to start using text. This is also just the latest model, and when I work these images, I can actually upscale them to 4K, which will be really nice just for a high quality image after the fact. So I'm going to go ahead and add this image real quick, which is right here. Let me just drag and drop this. Okay, and you see it's a 16:9. I'm going to go ahead and just grab it like this. I'm going to set it to a landscape. And hopefully it's going to let us do the 9:16 portrait of this. If not, we can make it work later. So we're going to say this is a 9:16, but our reference is 16:9. And so by default, by uploading this 16:9 image, it changed my settings, but I just changed it back, and hopefully that should be fine. So let's go ahead and get this prompt going. And I'm going to use an app called Whisperflow just because it's a little quicker than me trying to type. And here we go. Create a 9:16 image using the attached model reference image of this older woman with red lipstick, blue eyeshadow, and short white hair. She is reared back laughing and is in a dining room styled room, but we want to see a full body shot of this woman. And her clothing should be yellow and red, the same colors as McDonald's branding. Okay, let's just see where this gets us. We're going to go ahead and submit that. We've got 4 images going. And also, if you guys, while these are rendering, if you guys don't use Whisperflow, I don't use it all the time. Sometimes it doesn't format my prompts the way I want, but it is so nice because I can just dictate to the computer, which when I'm doing a lot of prompting or a lot of typing, when I'm building out documents, it's just nice to get my thoughts out really fast. Okay, and here we go. Look at that. Honestly, these look great. Looking at these one by one, I mean, that's a fun one. I like this kind of old school McDonald's styled clothing. Honestly, this one stands out a lot, though. It feels very, very fun. Like, it feels like something your grandma would wear, but also like super stylish at the same time. Like just all of these M's, the big M skirt. That one is actually my favorite right here. And that woman looks accurate to the styling of the reference that we had here. I want to see the woman wearing the McDonald's clothing on the red and yellow gradient background, but I want to add these 3D angled floating panels in the background, similar to the other reference image that I've attached. The panels should be formatted to be social media comments. They should primarily be from Instagram, and they should be scathing reviews that people who are angry about the McDonald's AI ad. So using things like the word slop, the thing that, McDonald's is cheating creators, and other similar type prompts and I guess comments and reviews. But I want them to feel like trendy social media reviews, but the color of those tiles should be red and yellow, mixed into different patterns, so that way it feels unique and stylish. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I kind of want to see what it does. I initially had planned on doing them all red, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, all red could just feel a little burdensome. So we're gonna do like red and yellow tiles back there, and hopefully Nano Banana can do this for us. But we'll see. I'm not totally sure. I've never tried this 3D tile thing going before, so we'll give it a go. Okay, and they're done. Let's take a look and see what we like. This one, I kind of like how they really are. I like how it said stop. I like how these are really prominent, but ultimately, like, I like the look of this one the most right now because it fits the gradient. These are red. They've got these little Instagram icons, and some of these ones just feel a little over the top. They feel a little cheesy, so I'm liking this one the best. We've got McCheaters. This ad is soulless junk. Do better. Support real artists, not machines. AI slop. Stop cheating creators. Boycott this AI garbage. McDonald's AI. Creators' rights. Boycott. More AI trash from a soulless corporation. So we've got two main things to fix. The first one we're going to fix is this image right here, which I'm going to pull in. We had this woman where we have her on this magazine cover, but this text is starting to feel like we removed that because it just didn't feel authentic. So then we did this. Oh, sorry, I misclicked. Then we did this one, but we started losing some of her image quality, as you can see right here if I disable this layer. She just looks a little more grainy here, which isn't always the worst, but I think I can fix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust the layer size right here. And I'm just going to reposition this and just try and I have this set to difference mode because that'll help me do the overlay properly. And I'm just going to slowly shrink down the size of the I guess this overhead, like this overlay, until I can get it somewhere close to the size that she is. And then I'm just positioning it with my mouse keys until I get this overlay for her roughly accurate. And this isn't perfect, but it's pretty close. You can see, like, when everything's turned black, that's what it means, that it's like a perfect match. And for the most part, this is really good. So I can re-enable that overlay, put it back to normal, but I'm going to drag this back down to the bottom layer because no, actually I'm going to put it on the top because this is the one that I want. But the background is the one that has the higher resolution like image of the woman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm on pixel. I'm going to add a mask layer, and I'm going to turn on my brush tool. And right now I have this set to 10% density. If I turn it up to 100%, then you guys would see that some of this stuff changes. You can see through a little bit of what's underneath. She doesn't look a ton different because she really is mostly in the same position. And so I'm just going to kind of go over. I'm at 100%, and that's fine for these main areas where not a lot changes. You can see right here I accidentally drew that back on. I'm going to switch my color and just paint that back over because I don't want that here. And let's see. I'm having a hard time getting rid of that. That's strange. Let's go ahead, make sure. I mean, all of that looks right. We're just going to misclick. Let's go ahead and click our brush back again. We're going to shrink that size down. We're going to shrink down the percentage here. And let's see if we've got that, but then I draw it back over. It does not like to go away. I wonder if maybe if it never got rid of it in the main one. No, it did. It did get rid of it. I'm not sure why that's going on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and just start over and just grab this. We've got her here. We've got this set. So we're going to go ahead and just start grabbing her face up here and pulling that back, pulling back her detail here, being a little more careful not to get that text back in, and just pulling her back so she's a little cleaner. And then for some of those other edge areas where we see maybe like by the text, we can try and clean it up a little bit. But really, that's what we're masking out. And so I can come down here and just soften those edges a little bit. Let's see. I had it on the wrong setting, so we're just going to do that real quick. Come back. We're just going to... Oh, it's on. It switched to the layer. There we go. Okay. That's what was going on. Okay, we're going to drag this down. Soften those edges a little bit. Just in case there's any discrepancies. But it should be pretty good when we add that back on. Now we go to just this image right here, which is not totally perfect, but it should be good enough. I mean, we see a little bit of text disparity there. If I come in, I don't know why it does that sometimes. It like moves that mask down, but we've got the mask selected here. Let's go ahead and bump this all the way up and see what this looks like over here. I'm okay with that. Let's just get this cleaned up right here. Let's turn that back on. Let's see. Got this selected. Ultimately, I may just leave it like that because I can always just crop in this image a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and group these. I'm going to give it a little crop. I don't need it on a 4:5. I can have it as an original ratio, and I'm just going to shrink in just a touch. Just enough to hit those edges a little cleaner. The top looked mostly okay, so we're just going to bring it like, just like this. Let's see, maybe top and bottom looked all right too, so we'll just pull that up. Move that crop up just a touch. Hit enter. Okay, we've got our new crop. It's not perfect around these edges, you see, but we could try and crop it in a little more, but really it's probably fine. This is just a demo. Let's see, we've got these images. If I look underneath here, if I turn this one off, let's see. AI stop treating creators. This one's actually starting to lose some integrity here, so I might need to go back to flow and exit here. I'm going to come on down to some of these early images that we did. And that was this one right here, where we had our good text. And we're going to pull this one into from Gemini 3. We're going to come back to Affinity. I'm going to open up my Finder, pull this one back on top, and let's just go ahead and line her up. We're going to throw it on difference, and we're going to try and get her matching, or more specifically the text matching back there. And that's the one we care about up there in the top. Let's see. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the text could probably use a little bit of help, actually. But that feels pretty close on the text. So let's go ahead and try this. Put it back to normal. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this underneath. And on this group, we're going to add a new mask and put this on our brush tool. We got this up at 100% again. And you see, like when I mouse over, now this is getting a little cleaner right here, instead of getting all like a little softer like it was. So what I'm going to do though is, because it's we're starting to mess with the shape and size of things a little bit. I'm just going to drop that percentage down, and then I can just paint over this a little more precisely. And you see that we're bringing back a little higher resolution text, which should be good. Okay, there we go. Now let's look here. We've got this McDonald's logo here, but honestly it might be cleaner without it because it's getting cut off. So what we're going to do is just paint over that as well. Why not? Okay, painting over there, and that cleans up this hard edge on the side. And then let's just look and see if there's anything else that changes. Really, we don't need, there's not much else over here all the way up to where it says McDonald's. So what we're going to do is we're going to bump up this percentage just to work a little faster and just get this cleaned up over here. Okay, I'm just switching back and forth between the brushes as needed. Okay, and that cleans up some of that texture down there. Again, this one up here. Come back right here and bring that letter back. Okay, let's get this one over here and get that text back. Clean up those edges a little bit that we messed up. Grab this, drag it over there. Come back down to this one. Cleaning it up. Cleaning up those edges again. And this is why we work with the soft brush, because it kind of keeps these edges a little bit cleaner and more realistic. McCheaters, pay artists. Okay, we've got that one cleaned up, and then fix that edge again. Okay, there we go. Let's see if there's anything else we see that we need to fix. Realistically, that's looking pretty good now. We fixed all that text there, so now it's more readable still. But we still get this fun text on screen. And now what we're going to do is we're going to group that. We're going to run this over to Canva AI, and we're going to run it through an upscaler because ultimately there's text on here. We want it to be sharp. We want it to be clean. And then for the final step, I might add some like grain or something. It's just a little texture. But we will get to that point in a second. So looking here now, let me zoom in a little bit so it's full screen. We've got on the right our before, and then on the left is our after. And you see it really clean that up. Wow, that looks so much better. So we're definitely going to leave that. Let's see. Okay, this isn't perfect down here, but again, just a social media post, that's fine. But that looks so much better. We're going to go ahead and hit apply. You can see it goes back to this like grainy looking thing here, which is fine. It's an upscaled image when we hit export. But the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come and grab a little filter. And I just want to see if there's anything we want to add here. Like maybe some noise. I might want to add some grain. And I don't know if I know how to use grain in Affinity. I know how to do it in DaVinci Resolve. Maybe I'll just go here and add some noise. Okay, so we'll just drag that up. That's basically grain. There we go. So let's add some noise. I don't know if I want it everywhere, but we're just going to drag this up a little bit and see the differences. So we've got up here to down. We want a little bit because it gives a little more texture back to the image that makes things feel less fake. You know, I mean, obviously that feels like it belongs on TV, you know, back in, you know, the 90s, whenever your TV would have that like little static screen. But we'll find like a nice little middle ground here where it's not just crisp and clean, but there's just a little bit of texture to it because that does help. And let's see if we can, I wonder if this is our opacity for this. Let's see, let's just add it up here. I'm kind of liking where that sits. It gives the paper a little texture, but then we can drag that opacity down a little bit to maybe here where it starts to become like noticeable, but not overly bearing. See, we got like completely smooth skin here to like now some like grainy skin here. So like it actually looks like it was shot on a camera. And I think that looks good. So we're going to go ahead and hit done on that. We're going to go ahead and just export this. And really, I want a PNG. That's fine. I need to make sure I have this whole layer selected. So that way when I come up here and I see this, that this is what we're exporting. And we're exporting an image that's 758 by 1348. And we'll just go ahead and export and make sure, well, we need to double check and make sure that if we have this, that our AI upscaler worked. I probably should have added the grain first. I'll be completely honest. I have not used Affinity so extensively that I know whether or not that filter is going to get upscaled or if we needed to redo this again. So we're just going to go ahead and run it one more time to be safe, and then we'll export it. Plus, like that resolution wasn't the highest resolution anyway. We could do with having this just be a little bit higher. But it's almost done, so we'll give this just half a second, and then we will get our export done and work on to the next phase, which is that second image. Okay, that is done rendering. So let's take a look here. Again, blurry to clean. It just looks so much better like this. So we're going to go hit apply. We're going to export this. And we've got this McDonald's right here. And we've got a new folder called exports. We've got magazine cover. Okay, magazine cover. Look at that. That looks great. Sorry, I was off screen on my own screen, but that just looks fantastic. That looks so fun. So it's not perfect, obviously there's a little imperfections here and here, but just for what we're doing, like that stuff we could go fix if we needed to, but for just AI stuff and for a fun demo, really enjoyable to put that together. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, click the link in my description and you can join my school community where I have plenty of other tutorials just like this. And I teach creators just like you to go from start to finish. You get to learn not only the AI tips and tricks that I use, but you also get an inside look at some of the actual projects that I've done, as well as you'll get a peek inside my brain as the person who was running video and social strategy for Crumble for nearly the last 4 years. I'll give you a peek in how you run content for a brand, how you create good content, and if you're not a creator, how to become a great creator, teaching you all the skills that you need to go from start to finish. So again, click the link in my description, join that school community. The price that you see now will be the lowest it will ever be. It is going to continually go up. So make sure you join now while you get the chance, and I will talk to you later and see you in the next one.